And I was in Chicago, and I drove a truck, and there was a. Okay. So but it's still about Sajik, because and there was a bridge, very low bridge in front of me, and I couldn't pass it anyway, and I had a delivery to make. So I went to Google Play Store, something like this. I downloaded Sajik, and it gave me the direction how to pass through that bridge. So thank you. I actually used it. Okay. My name is Tim, or Timur is a full first name. I represent Escort Monitoring Systems Group. It's a company, a factory located in Kazan, Russia. We manufacture telematics sensors. We specialize in manufacturing hardware. It's sensors only. We make fuel level sensors, angle sensors, humidity sensors, Bluetooth fuel level sensors, Bluetooth angle sensor, Bluetooth everything. We also have a variety of other type of devices, IoT devices, autonomous weather stations, and industrial gas analyzers. So that's short about the company. Me, myself, I'm an expert manager. Here, I returned from India. I spent last 2 months in India, and our company, we opened an office in Delhi. So this is a big news for us. This is our first international office. And we visited quite a lot of partners, and most people tell us that there is a big demand for the fuel monitoring. So before a year and a half, 2 years ago, people would tell me, I have no requirement from the customer, so they don't want. It was not that they did not want, they didn't know that it could be done. And currently, because of the price for the diesel, 1 liter of diesel in India costs around 100 rupees. So that's in US dollars in the current range, maybe 1.3, 1.4 US dollars, which is expensive, especially for India. And when we talk about specifically construction sector, it's crucial. This case that I want to present to you today was given to me by a Violon partner out of Hyderabad, Telangana state, Callcomm. Callcomm is led by Mr. Sanjay, our good friend. So he founded his company in 2004 as a simple GPS tracking for taxis. So they just installed some GPS, some Chinese no-name GPS, and some simple monitoring platform. Currently, he has 50 completed projects. This is not a big digit, but those are very thorough, good projects. So 50 completed project means not 50 vehicles, but 50 complete implemented solutions for the end users. He runs his units on Violon, only Violon. Currently, he has 7,000 units, and all of them have fuel monitoring system with Escort sensor. So he is pure fuel monitoring systems integrator. Very hardworking guy. He shared the information about his client. The company is called Simplex Infrastructures. They are a major construction company in India, founded in 1924. So they would celebrate their 100-year anniversary in a couple of years. They have 2,600 completed projects, and those are very big projects. I'll go to them a bit later. Airports, bridges, roads, just a few of them. So Jaipur Airport, this is one of the structures they've built. Jaipur is the capital of Rajasthan, and actually this airport won the award of the best airport in the world in its capacity, below 10 million people per year, in 2015. 4,000 megawatt UMPP Tata Power. UMPP stands for Ultra Mega Power Project. Yeah, it's ambitious. So what is it? This is a plan of India government to build a total of 100,000 megawatts worth of the power plants across India. So they operate on the coal, on the stone coal. This is one of them. Indira Gandhi International Airport. This is the biggest airport in India, 40 million passengers per year. That's just one of the buildings they built. They didn't build the whole airport, but still, it gives you perspective of what type of the construction company that is. And big construction company has big type of vehicles. Those are excavators, graders, those are anything, you name it, dump trucks, diesel generators, and all that consumes diesel. All that consume diesel. This is also one of the projects, is Mahanadi River Bridge. It's in Odisha region. So it's a 2-kilometer bridge. And they also have the second one right next to it with a train, for trains. So they came with this issue to the integrator, to Callcomm, that they are not profitable. Long story short, they are actually for sale now. Not because of the fuel level sensor, but frankly, probably they didn't implement it early enough, so they lost this time. The solution was offered wireless fuel level sensor, Escort TDBLE. Not only wireless, they installed wired for these machineries as well, and the Bluetooth wireless tilt angle sensor. Currently, they have 600 fuel level sensors on their machines and 250 angle sensors. This picture is just for example, because I didn't want to overload. I mean, we all know how construction machinery looks like. So for this particular case, they used, I think there's a pointer, yeah? No? Yeah, this is a pointer. So we know what the fuel level sensor is. This is a capacitive fuel level sensor. It came to us from the military technology. It has no physical moving parts here. It basically has 2 electrodes, and it measures the capacitance of the fuel which is inside of that sensor. It provides 99% accuracy. And this is also a very interesting device. This is basically an accelerometer with a battery and with built-in Bluetooth transceiver. The way to install it, it's right here, or maybe right here. So the beautiful thing about this sensor is that it will give you how much effective work the excavator operator did. In a lot of cases, they would turn on the engine, and if your end user pays them by the hour, that means he will have to pay him for all the time he was burning the fuel. But that not necessarily mean that he was doing anything useful with this bucket. So he was not moving earth, he was not doing anything. Maybe he had some time for tea, some time for talk, some time for sleep. Angle sensor it has certain scenarios with the built-in time delays and a built-in angle range, which you can set up. Basically, on the Violon, it looks like, or any other software somebody uses their own too, it looks like a timeline. Basically, you will see the time only when it was effectively used. So in a lot of cases, out of 8 hours, that could have been 2 or 3 hours of effective work only. That's it. This is this is the graph, Violon graph from a diesel generator, which was used on one construction site with actual registered fuel theft right here. So you can see the abrupt drop here. It goes up back here again, but still there is a gap, which is no speed, but if I remember correctly, it's about 20 liters. So 20 liters of diesel were taken off of the diesel generator and used for some other purposes. Probably not because of good life, but still. And this is the Violon graph with the excavator fuel consumption. So you see also the excavator is not moving too much. In most cases, it just stands still and burns fuel. But here, you can see with the precision up to 99% when and how fuel was used. I left this, this is before and after kind of thing. I was a bit fascinated by this crore kind of numeric system, because in India I came and they have crores, they have lakhs, and it's, but annual fuel spendings before the implementation of the system was 100 crore. In rubles, that would be, well, again, so it's in rupees, yeah? So that would be 1 billion rupees. So you can do the conversion yourselves. And after that, it's 75 crore. So the difference between before and after in US dollars, I did this calculation, is 3.5 million US dollars per annum they were saving just by installing 600 machines. So 600 vehicles with the 600 fuel level sensors, and this is some integrators they buy in a month. So that's their monthly volume. What can I say? Fuel is expensive. It's important to monitor it. So let's do it together. We had some conversations with some gentlemen here. So it's a bit of the cumbersome job. It's not easy job to install the fuel level sensor. For the end user, it's obvious. The savings are huge. But for us, for integrators, where to make money. So, well, one thing, they have to pay for it. So we talked to quite a few partners. They charge different amount for the fuel monitoring solution and for the regular simple tracking solution. Another thing, the sensors that we make, they are not expensive. So they're not supposed to be expensive. And another thing, we tried to cut as many of the cumbersome processes out of it. So the wireless fuel level sensor requires no wires, so you don't have to lay them through the frame of the vehicle. That means your technicians will save time. We have the phone app for the sensors, so that means you don't have to buy the laptops for your technicians. Another thing, we have automatic full and empty calibration, so that means you don't have to have fuel to do the full empty calibration. And as far as for the tank calibration, well, it's still there. The technology doesn't exist to scan the fuel tank. You still have to do the tank calibration. And yes, like Mr. Samir here with TrackLink, he actually invested in the automatic calibration station. Was not an easy support too now, yeah? Okay. So yeah, and that allows to increase the installation speed and provide good precision. So it's just a tool for your end user to save money and for you to make some money, but with optimization of the process. So I'll be over. Thank you for your professionalism. Thank you so much.
Any questions?
Oh, the gas separator. They told me I should have offered it to you before the station, but I didn't know about the existence. So they are some kind of a crazy inventors.
Yeah, so you asked me before about Bluetooth with temperature.
Yes.
How is it going with fuel? And which hardware do you recommend at least, or you have had successful
yes.
integrations with without any disruption?
Yes. With the fuel, Bluetooth is not for every project. So when we talk about, in this particular case for the excavator, it was close enough. Okay, I'll be honest. Well, I will just tell what they used. They used Pneumatica GPS trackers for this particular projects. But that's the preference of the Mr. Sanjay out of Callcomm. That's what he found this connection and he buys their trackers. So I personally connected these sensors to plenty of devices. I'll be honest, I don't hope no Teltonika people here, but I had my piece of headache with Teltonikas. Huh? yeah. But I'll tell them. They should know. I spent 1.5 days with a Violon partner in Mumbai trying to connect the sensor with the FMB 920. And FMB 920 is a very widespread device because it's cheap, but it has to be something more complex. Galileo Sky never experienced any problem with these devices. They are costly. So not cheap devices, maybe not for India. Zirgo, they also implemented a receiver, Bluetooth receiver. So yeah, it's possible. It acts like an external antenna as well. So everybody chooses their own way. NAV Telecom, also it works good. Very main thing to observe is the RSSI, which is a receiving signal strength indicator. So in certain places, you might need to change your habit of the installation of the GPS tracker. We did installation in Mumbai for the small Tata 407 vehicle. It's a very small vehicle, 70-liter tank. So we put this fuel level sensor and FMB 120 device on the front. The connection was stable, was good. If we talk about regular truck, it's going to work fine. This model of excavator that they use, I'm not sure which one is it, but it's also very close. So basically the cabin is right above the tank. But if you want to install the Bluetooth sensor in the bus, for example, it probably won't work. you will get full with people, they will interfere with the signal, it will not work. Mining equipment, I would also go for the wired, you know, a lot of interference, a lot of, you know, it has to be measured. But temperature sensor, we have the excellent one. It's much more expensive than Teltonicas. It's about $89. But the battery itself costs us to buy in a bulk from Europe, €5 each battery. So, you know, but it shoots right through. You have the big reefer, you close the gates, and the signal still goes through.
Second question, the battery life of that, the battery life, how many years is it lasting? Or have you done any testing on it?
Yeah, so research and development department gave me this piece of paper. It has all these mathematical formulas there, right? So it tells me that it will work 7 years in the fuel level sensor. We don't know for the fact. We have been selling them for 4. So we had some issues in the first batches. We didn't understand the right compound formula, and we didn't use the right battery holders, because we want to make our battery exchangeable, so you pull it out. We make some mistakes, and we had to pull a lot of sensors back from the market before it gets known, so we lost some money. But we changed everything, you know, and it works fine. Yes, the batteries, they work fine. We expect 7 years. Warranty-wise, we give 3 years for the wireless, and we give 5 years for the wired sensor. It's a replacement warranty, so then we just ship. For the temperature and for the angle sensor, it's 3 years battery life, because to consume more power. Thank you.
Okay, Tim.
Yes.
What is your recommendation with regards your fuel level sensors with embedded SIM versus whatever Bluetooth fuel level sensor connected to an X tracking device?
Okay, let me just it's a bit, I will go a bit away. So you install wired sensors. Do you have a lot of cases of the driver vandalism? Do the sensors get cut? Not in your region, not so much.
No.
So if that works for you, it's a very good solid solution. Wire is good. Wire is never bad. We didn't say no to the wire because it's you know, it's bad in some way. It's being cut, you know. So other two solutions is to insert the GPS tracker inside of the fuel level sensor. Ambitious. Technoton, they also did the same, but neither them nor us we sell many of those devices. It's the issue is with the location of the GPS tracker. I mean, just ask anybody who manufactures them. If would be me, I would install the sensor in the tank where it belongs, and the GPS tracker in the cabin in a warm, nice place where it belongs. TD Online, the Bluetooth, the sensor with embedded SIM, is being redesigned right now. We still think there could be some future in it, but we are changing the modem. Now there are component deficit. Now we have to change the geometry, so it's discontinued for now.
Okay.
Yeah, so
as a final verdict, what do you recommend, wired or wireless fuel level sensor?
it depends entirely on the project. Let's say stationary tanks. You have these big stationary tanks, and then you have the control booth, I don't know, 30 meters away, maybe, yeah? So running all this wire underground as well, it's a cumbersome procedure. So then go for the Bluetooth there. Just install it on the visible, it's going to be on top of the tank, it's going to be visible to the base or to the receiving party.
Let's talk mobile, on vehicle.
Yeah, for the regular truck, so we talk about Volvo, Scania, Mercedes, Tata, anywhere, any transportation truck, yeah? So where you have the cabin on the front, and then you have the fuel tank maybe 10, 12 feet or 3-4 meters behind you, it will work fine. It will connect. Just make sure you don't use the cheapest possible GPS tracking device. It has to be something proven, something you've tried already. Yeah.
Tim, in Vialon we have a temperature coefficient sensor. I heard that you have an algorithm for temperature compensation.
Yeah.
Is it correct?
In some cases, you have to use both. I will explain why. There is a temperature sensor inside of each fuel level sensor. So what it does is the Mr. Suleiman, if I'm not mistaken, was asking this question about temperature coefficient, yeah? So it does compensate for the expansion and contraction of fuel. But what's happening? This temperature sensor is not exactly inside the fuel. So it's inside of the head of the sensor. So imagine the situation. You have hot sun and it's outside. So the sensor head is being heated. And it's actually hotter than the temperature of the fuel inside of the tank. Yeah, so that in this case, the sensor will operate, it will show you the rise. But then if you can predict it and you know that happens, you can use this recalculation in Violon. And that, I don't know what magic behind it, but...
And regarding your algorithm or your coefficient inside the sensor, would you please explain, because your sensor is using for different kind of fluids, okay? How you reach to the coefficient or how you detect the fluid? Because if we are talking about diesel or petrol or any other kind of fluid, these coefficients are different. How it's an average or you reach it somehow?
Okay. It's a big data collection out of 10 years that we've been manufacturing sensors. It does make mistakes. Honestly, when we talk about different types of liquids, they are very close to each other. Kerosene, benzene, gasoline, petrol, diesel, they are not so far from each other in terms of expansion and contraction. Another thing, water. Water is completely different. For the water, we have different sensor and it has different algorithm. So for those, you will receive, in some cases, you will still receive this rise, especially when you talk about big tanks. But then you have Violon to compensate for that. So it's a lot of work. It's just a tool. So a lot of work has to be done on the integrator's behalf as well, analysis and understanding of what's going on. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all I can say, but I don't know the working of this algorithm by itself.
Okay, thank you.
Any other?
Yeah, hi. I have two questions. I need your suggestion on two different things. One is fixed tank machines where the tanks are fixed, and two are smaller machines like forklifters. So what is your recommendation with forklifters, since they don't have a huge tanker, but there are a lot of them, and most of them are on rented, and a lot of customers and clients want management for that.
Yeah. Okay. We have in Russia and actually abroad, we have Telegram and WhatsApp channels, like chats. And in Russian chat, there are a lot of integrators, like specifically fuel integrators. And sometimes they give us these crazy pictures of what they drilled and what they installed. So from what I've seen, the sensors are being installed on the ships, on different kind of vessels, on boats, on forklifts, on loaders, on front loaders, on harvesters. So some people are a bit crazy like this, they see the fuel tank, they want to put the fuel level sensor in. Yeah, especially in Russia. So yeah, it's possible. It's just a matter of how the tank is shaped. So the shape of the tank, that's what matters. And it has to be obviously done from case-to-case scenario. But if we talk about major brands like JCB, Hitachi, or anything, so at least somewhere in the world, at least one of this machinery has been equipped with a fuel level sensor. So yeah, we just have to see. But which ones are you talking about? Probably JCB, front loader? Something. Many different models.
So it's not stuck to one. For example, if a client has 400, 500 forklifters, he's renting them out, so he will not take one brand only. So there might be brands, might be models of the brands as well. And since it's all rented out, so they always require that particular thing that they want to monitor fuel for them. And plus those fixed tanks, for example, smaller vehicles, smaller cars. So for this sensor, how we can calibrate on all of this. So this is something which is a challenging job.
Fixed tanks, what do you mean fixed tanks? I thought they're all fixed to the...
No, for example, Salon cars. So how to do with Salon cars?
No, it's, When I was new to the company, I was trying to do it, but no. Like in most cases, they fit this fuel tank inside of whatever space is left. So then it could be some crazy shape. What matters, and again, saloon car uses gasoline, so it's not diesel. Diesel is oily, and gasoline is very shaky. So then, if it's a shallow tank with not tall, like short and shallow and long tank, this splashing in fuel will be going crazy. So yeah, your customer will tell you, what is this graph? What am I seeing? So no, I don't recommend it. It's major trucks, construction machinery, mining machinery, diesel generators, stationary tanks. That's like golden 5,
If that's all,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Tim.
Okay,
Thank you
so much. Thank you, guys.